Good morning and welcome to Norcal APEX Accelerator's webinar. I'm certified, now what? And this webinar is graciously presented by the California DGS, Office of Small Business, and DVBE Services. My name is Amanda Anderson. I'm the program coordinator for Norcal APEX Accelerator. And today I'm joined by the fantastic Megan Wininski, the Business Outreach Liaison for California DGS OSDS. Now, before I pass it off to Megan for her fantastic content, I do want to let you know a little bit about Norcal APEX Accelerator Services and how we can help you with government contracting. So the APEX Accelerator program is a federally mandated program that hosts over 96 centers nationwide that are funded to help you, whether you're a big business or a small business. We're funded to help you with government contracting. And that can be anything from your first SAM registration to maybe the next year's tricky SAM registration renewal. Or maybe you want to improve your DSBS, your Dynamic Small Business Profile. We can also help with reading over solicitations that you may want to bid on and helping you make sure that your bid is the perfect fit for that solicitation. And the best part is we offer all of this assistance at absolutely no cost to you. So how do we offer this assistance, right? Because it sounds great, but how are you really going to get this help? Well, at Norcal APEX Accelerator, we offer our services to the 15 coastal northern counties of California that you see on your screen. And we offer our assistance through three main pillars. First, our one-on-one counseling, where once you apply to be a client, you'll be able to meet with a procurement specialist who has years of experience in government contracting. And we have counselors who are experienced on the contracting officer side, working for government agencies, as well as people who have done government contracting as a small business. And you're able to sit down with your procurement specialist and go through your specific hiccups and hurdles that you've experienced in government contracting. If it's that really tricky SAM renewal, as we have seen a lot of, we can help walk you through that step by step. Or maybe you're looking to get your California Small Business Certification. We can help review that application to make sure it goes through the first time. And that's where one-on-one counseling really shines. But another boon to our clients through counseling is our custom bid matching program. Now, this is a program that our business, our center actually pays for, but we offer to all our clients at absolutely no cost. And that's because of the true value of this. So what this software allows you to do is it allows you to sit down with your counselor and decide specific criteria or keywords to define what kind of opportunities you're looking for in government contracting, whether that be a specific industry that you're looking to get contracts in, or maybe a certain location that you can only perform the work in. Or perhaps you have such a niche and innovative product that you really want to offer, so you just want to see contracts that are looking for that kind of product. And once you set down those keywords with your counselor, this system will scrape both local, state, and federal procurement sites for opportunities that are relevant to those keywords and in turn, relevant to you. And what it does is it takes all of those relevant solicitations and it emails them directly to you. It's an absolutely fantastic service that our clients can take advantage of at no cost. And it takes at least a bit of the tediousness of finding these opportunities out of the mix. And third, we offer our assistance through resources and trainings, of which you're actually taking advantage of right now. We put on webinars and trainings with fantastic partners throughout the entire year, both virtually and in person. So if you haven't really connected with us just to keep in touch with our trainings, please do. Because this is honestly my favorite service pillar because anyone can take advantage of it. Whether you're out in Florida New York, or even in Alaska or Hawaii. You can always attend our webinars and trainings. And you can also check out our website. We maintain a pretty robust website with a bunch of links and resources from varying procurement topics, from getting your DVBE certification to how do I contract with the federal government? We have resources that are available to you even if you're well outside of our service area. So if you haven't connected with Norcal APEX Accelerator, I highly recommend you do, if it is only to take advantage of the resources and trainings. But if you are looking for more in-depth government contracting assistance, please do connect with your local APEX Accelerator. It's absolutely no cost, and what's to risk? And so with that, I do want to mention that this is a recorded session, and the information provided herein is accurate to the best of the presenter's ability at the time of this presentation. Some or all of the provisions mentioned herein could or may be changed by the current administration with or without prior notice. So with that, I'll go ahead and pass it off to Megan.
Thank you so much, Amanda. And thank you for that disclosure. It was actually just announced today that the gross annual receipt requirements have changed for small businesses, SBPWs, and not DVBEs, just those two, as well as micro business. So to your point, the information can change. I do recommend that you attend these no-cost webinars to stay up on it as well. And again, thank you for that wonderful introduction. My name is Megan Wisniewski, and I am with the Department of General Services in the Office of Small Business and Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Services. You will see my contact information here on the screen. Please jot it down. Just like Amanda, I'm here to help you the best I can. Our services are available at no cost as well. So definitely reach out to us. I always like to say that your success is our success. So if you have questions, please reach out. So in my role as a business outreach liaison, I do educate small business owners like yourself about the benefits and opportunities of pursuing a small business certification, a disabled veteran business enterprise certification. You'll hear me call that DVBE as well. And then we help you navigate contracting opportunities with the state of California. So as Amanda mentioned, we want to make sure your questions are answered. Please put them in the Q&A part so they don't get lost. And then I will have slides built into my presentation to make sure that we can address those questions. My ask of you is that we ask questions on the material we've already gone over, because there's a chance that I will touch on it later. And then as Amanda mentioned, that we ask questions that are applicable to the group. If it's something very, very specific that requires a little bit more research, this isn't the proper place for that. So definitely reach out to me, jot down my information with those questions. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So today we are doing our I'm Certified Now What presentation. As the title implies, I'm hoping that you all already have your SB, small business for the purpose of public works, or your disabled veteran business enterprise state certification. If you don't, totally fine. Still a lot of good information today, but it's more planting the seed for when later you go in and get registered and then certified with the state of California. Amanda is a wonderful resource to help you through that if you do have any questions, as well as me. But today we are going to be going over these topics. As you can see here, we're going to touch on your CaliProcure profiles. There are two within your work center. We're going to highlight keywords in UNSPSC's United Nations Standard Products and Services Codes. We're going to go over how to find and research past purchases. We're going to introduce you to the small business and DVBE advocates. We're going to show you who they are, where to find them, and what to ask them when you reach out to them. We will briefly touch on our reciprocity partners, who they are, where to find them, why that reciprocity agreement is significant to you. We will go over emergency contracting. And then finally, we always like to end with PUF, which is commercially useful function. So starting with our CaliProcure profiles, right, I do mention there's two of them, and we'll go into detail with them today. But your profile is very similar to profiles you're going to maintain with any website or organization, whether it's professional or personal. As you can see here, it's just going to consist of some basic information, right? Your business name, email, your address. And the really important part that we're going to go over today are those keywords in those United Nations Standard Products and Services Code. Because your CaliProcure profile, it really describes who you are, what you provide, what products and services, kind of like why the state is interested in contracting with you, right? Like what can the state get from you? And then we'll go into more details about the United Nations Standards and Products Services Codes. We're going to talk about the fact that it's an 8-digit code followed by a written description that describes a product or a service, not an industry. For those of you who are familiar with federal or local contracting, they use NICS codes. I have not used that. With the state of California, we use UNSPSCs. So a pro tip is to know the language of the organization you're speaking with, right? Amanda and Apex and all the other no-cost resources that I'll refer to you later, I like to say that they're the true professionals because they know everything, right? She talked about SAM.gov and all of these different keywords and certifications. I only know my 3 with the states. I know my keywords and my UNSPSCs, and that's it. So definitely make sure that you know them all because they're important to you, and then reach out to your local APEX accelerators to help you through that. So before I get off too much on a tangent, let's go ahead and jump back into our keywords in UNSPSC. So the keywords and codes in your profile, they allow buyers to find your business. They can go into CaliProcure, search for a certified firm based off of a UNSPSC that they're looking to fulfill or a keyword. So it's really important that you have them in your profile and they really describe who you are and the products and services that you provide. So the codes, those UNSPSCs, included in your bidder profile, they're going to automatically generate system notifications when there is an event or a solicitation, we like to call it both things, that is posted that contains that code. So that way, if a project that you're potentially interested in bidding on is posted, you're automatically notified if it's in your profile. And then lastly, we do want to note that you can edit your keywords and codes at any time. There are no limit as to how many you put in your profile. You just want to make sure that it really describes the goods services that you provide. So up first, we're going to dive into keywords a little bit more. So like UNSPSCs, the keywords listed in your profile allow buyers to find you, right? If you can't tell already, I like to repeat myself a lot because I feel like it really plants a seed and then reinforces it, right? So I apologize in advance for that. And then, as I've already mentioned, you choose the keywords listed in your profile. What I like to say is, who knows your business better than you, right? I know my 3 certifications, keywords, and UNSPSCs, but you know who you are and what you provide, right? And then since you are responsible for determining your keywords, I'm going to give you a few friendly tips on the next slide on how to select them. So as you're going to see here, we recommend that you do individual words and not sentences. So if you say, I provide trucking services in Riverside, the only way I'm going to find you is if I type it that same way, right? So you're going to want to do trucking services, things of those nature. So we want to make sure they're individual words and not sentences. You also want to make sure that you're using singular as well as plural words. So light bulb, light bulbs, right? As I've said, there's no limit to the amount of keywords that you put into your profile. So there can be a lot, especially when you're factoring in all of these, and that's okay. You do want to use technical words as well, common words as well as technical jargon. So if you're the industry expert and I am somebody who needs to fulfill a contract, right? So I'm with the state and I need to buy something. I might not come at it from the technical jargon way because I don't know as much as that particular need as you do. So make sure you're using common words as well as technical jargon. On that note, you want to use broad words as well as specific words. You also want to use synonyms. So you'll see our example here is garbage, trash, waste. See how these words can start stacking up when you're doing all these variations? You do want to use multi-word keywords as appropriate. So our example is information technology. I would probably put it in there as IT and information technology. And then it is okay to copy keywords from competitors. As I mentioned, you can go into CaliProcure under quick links to find a certified firm and type in a keyword. That's how a buyer can find you potentially, but it's also how you can find your competition. We'll touch on that in a little bit more. Excuse me. So now that we've gone over keywords, we're going to transition into our United Nations Standard Products and Services Codes, UNSPSCs. So as I briefly mentioned, this is a 8-digit number followed by a written description. It identifies a good or service, not an industry like your NICS codes. And then these allow buyers to find your business within CaliProcure, and then they allow you to get those system-generated notifications that I spoke about a second ago. And then we're going to touch on this next slide about how these codes are within a hierarchy. In small businesses and DVBEs, it's really important that we understand how that hierarchy works, because it really empowers a business to find relevant related codes. And it takes the guesswork out a little bit. So as promised, here is the hierarchy. As you'll see, there's 4 levels. That middle column where it says code, that is the 8-digit number. And then the other one that says description, that is the written description. You'll see here that level 1 is at the top of the hierarchy, and it's the most broad, right? The description is paper, materials, and products. Pretty broad. When you look at the code, it is a 1-4, and the rest are filled with zeros. Okay, and that's important because within the hierarchy of 4 levels, each level is determined by 2, 4, 6, or 8 digits, with the remaining digits as zeros. So the 1-4 at the top is the most broad because it's followed by all those zeros. And then when you get down to the bottom, that level 4, you'll see that it's 1-4, and then all the remaining spots are filled by an actual digit and not zeros. And then you'll see here that the description is much more robust, right? I won't read it to you because you can see it here. And it's important that we understand that hierarchy because we want to make sure that your profile can be found by buyers, right? And that you're putting the right codes in your bidder profile that we're going to touch on the next slide. So I'll ask Amanda when we get to our Q&A here, but whenever I work with Caltrans, they always recommend levels 3 and 4 in your profile. I am one of those people where if that code pertains to you, might as well put it in your profile. So Amanda, remind me to ask you that later when we get to our Q&A. A little bit more about your 2 different profiles within CaliProcure. You have your bidder profile and your certification profile. So the way I like to describe it is that no matter who you are, if you want to sell to the state of California, you register your business on CaliProcure, and that creates your bidder profile. So big business, small business, no matter who you are, you have to register your business and get your bidder profile. However, all of you out there are super special because you qualify for one of our certifications. So by doing that, or by qualifying for that, you can go back in and become certified as a small business or DVBE, and that's going to create your certification profile. So there are 2. And then you'll see here a couple fun facts regarding them. So your bidder profile, this information is not publicly displayed. The codes that you listed here are the ones that generate those automatic notifications when a solicitation containing your code is posted. So because it's not public facing, you actually can put codes that are aspirational on this one. So maybe you're into trucking services, but you're thinking about maybe adding something else over here, but you don't know if there's a market for it. If you find the code for that and put it in your profile, you'll automatically be notified, but state buyers won't see those. They're not going to reach out to you potentially asking for quotes that you can't fulfill because you don't do it yet. So that's what we mean by aspirational. Whereas your certification profile, this one is publicly displayed. So buyers throughout the state of California can see this, as well as anybody who visits CaliProcure, right? We talked about copying our competitors, right? Anyone can go into your certification profile and see your information, mainly your keywords and your codes. That's what I'm in there looking for. And then these profiles are used by buyers to find business to solicit bids from. Our level 3 webinar, we get into acquisition methods a little bit more. We're not going to do that today because we don't have time, but if you have questions, let us know. And then unlike the bidder profile where you can be aspirational, you do not want to do that with your certification profile. You want to make sure that it's accurate to what your business currently does. It should not be aspirational. The reason for that is if a state buyer does reach out to you directly and you're like, oh, no, I can't do that. This has nothing to do with my business type. That buyer's probably not going to reach out to you again in the future, right? So we really want to make sure that that certification profile is really reflecting the products and services that you provide now. So a little bit more on UNSPSCs and where to select them. So businesses can search for codes directly in CaliProcure in the registration process, as well as the certification process. Businesses can also search for codes on the DGS website. That'll be included in the links that Amanda will be sending out. Make sure that you don't just Google UNSPSCs and pull whatever you think. The state of California does not use all of the UNSPSC codes available. We have a selected few. And then businesses can also find codes throughout that hierarchy, right? We have 4 levels. We recommended 3 and 4. I recommend all. And then knowing how that parent and child code works can help you find more. So the first 2 digits filled, followed by zeros versus all of them filled in. And then businesses can also look up, as we talked about, their competitors on CaliProcure and then grab their codes. Well, Amanda, I think that's enough for me for a second. Let's go ahead and see if we have any questions on what we've gone over.
Absolutely. We do have a couple, but I would love to touch base on the UNSPC codes.
Yes, thank you.
So this is the notice for everybody. If you do have a question about the section, please enter it into the Q&A. We will get to it. But as for UNSPC codes, I think the advice that you're giving is fantastic because in my mind, level 3 and level 4 are very pertinent, very relevant, but you already have level 2 and 1. So you may as well include them just in case someone is, for the example purposes, you are using paper products. So maybe they're not looking for recyclable or reused paper products. They're just looking for general paper products. But if you put that general paper products, that level 1 or level 2 paper products code, they'll see yours and maybe they'll make the choice like, oh, we could do the recycled or reused paper products. Like that would be great for the environment, maybe tie into some other initiatives the agency has going for like their carbon footprint. But I definitely think like 3 and 4 is where it gets a little bit more tricky. So I see the focus on that for sure.
Hey, Amanda?
Yeah. And now let's go into the questions. We have one from Rita. Does DGS have opportunities for contractors? We've been talking a lot about buying products, but how are services procured?
That's a great question. Yes, we definitely have opportunities for contracting. We purchase products and services. In a little bit, we're going to touch on how to research past purchases so we can see if your specific service is listed. And then also, sorry, my brain just broke there a little bit. I was thinking about Caltrans. They purchased that a lot. And looking at the question, it looks like they might have a federal certification as well.
Yeah.
Amanda had briefly mentioned the DVBE certification because Caltrans, I know we love to confuse everyone. I'm sorry for this. Because Caltrans receives federal dollars on some of their projects, they actually accept the DVE certification as well. So the short answer is yes, we definitely do contracting as well, and we'll show you where to find those opportunities.
Absolutely. And then Nicole was wondering, they're having an issue with updating their keywords. They need to add more to the system, but they can't figure out how to do so.
I might need Nicole to follow up a little bit on that question because I'm really hoping you just don't know where to go to do it because those are going to be like my next 6 slides. So if that's the case, stay tuned. If it's an actual login issue with Fiscal and you're unable to log into your work center through CaliProcure, then I'm going to give you a phone number and I'm going to tell you to hit option 1.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always that duality of like, okay, Do you not know where to go? Is there an actual issue with the website?
Which is where I often find myself.
Yeah. And then Jan was wondering a bit more about DVE certification, which we're not going greatly in depth to. I know Norcal APEX Accelerator has some fantastic webinars, and we're often doing events with Caltrans for the DVE certification. But are you aware of any information you can provide about that, maybe?
I'm pretty surface level as well. So, or not as well,
Yeah.
you're the expert, you know all about it. It's the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Certification. The state of California is unable to grant contracting preference based on race, ethnicity, minority status, anything like that, due to legislation that has been passed. We only have the SB, the SBPW, and the DVBE certifications, whereas that Disadvantaged Business Enterprise certification does factor in those different I don't want to say classes, but those different, Amanda, what word am I looking for here?
Demographics.
Scenarios.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, the DVE certification, definitely a great one to look into, especially in California, and especially if you're doing contracting with Caltrans, or even with some airports, they're looking for DVE certifications as well, but not quite on topic for this event. I can share a webinar link, which I will go ahead and throw your way, Jan. But with that, we are out of questions. I do see a couple questions in chat that are a little out of left field. I'll try to decipher them for the next Q&A for us.
Great. And then Nicole, if I don't answer your questions with my next slides, please reach out to me and we'll make sure that we get you squared away. Perfect. We will jump back into our webinar once my computer wants to work here. Sorry, I was traveling yesterday. I think it's catching up to me here. Perfect. So we are now going to go into how to update your profiles. So no surprise to any of you, we are going to go to CaliProcure.ca.gov. I like to say that this is your new best friend when you're trying to contract with the state. And then what we're going to touch on is how to update your UNSPSCs in your keywords in both that registration or bidder account. And then later, we're going to go into the certification profile. Hopefully we're all familiar with this page. It is the homepage for CaliProcure. To get to your work center, you simply log in the top right-hand corner. So you'll see here on this screen, on the left-hand side, you have My Account, and the right-hand side is your certification. Those are your two different profiles within your work center. Because we're doing our registration and our bidder profile first, you're going to click on Manage Notification Profile. From here, it's going to ask you a quick question. It's going to ask if you would like to receive SP, DVBE, subcontractor listing notifications. For folks working in construction, that's definitely something that you'd want to mark yes to. If you're interested in working as a subprime contractor to a larger prime on some of those projects. So if you are interested, make sure you mark yes. And then from here, I've said probably 17 times at this point that you can receive system-generated notifications. This is where you mark yes. The one that's highlighted in red at the time asks, would you like to receive event notifications for CSCR bidding opportunities? CSCR stands for California State Contracts Registrar, and that is where our solicitations are housed. And then you'll see here that you're going to have the opportunity to put in your notification contact for your email address. And then the service areas on the right are optional. I do recommend that on your profiles, you have the areas that you can actually service indicated. So if you are in Northern California and you are getting, these automatic system generated notifications regarding work that you can't do because it's in Southern California, is that really something you need to spend their time looking at? If you want it, great, keep it. But if you're getting too many, this is where you can narrow it down based off of the area. When you do search for UNSPSCs, this is where you're going to do it. We recommend that you use that description right there, and then you type in words, keywords, right? We just went over the keywords for your business, for your products and services that you provide. And then you would just type them in here to find the relevant codes. So in this example, we use paper again. So under the UNSPSC description box that was just highlighted in red, it now has paper in it. And then you can see all the relevant codes came beneath it. So we highlighted 2 of them in red, and then we checked them so that way we can move them over. So after you check the box of the codes you want, you simply just scroll down to the bottom and click the Add button. Once you do that, it'll move it over to the right-hand side. If you need to delete any that are in there, you simply just select them and then hit delete selected. So that was our quick touch on the bidder profile and how to put those UNSPSCs in there. Did we have any questions on that, Amanda, or did we have any clarifications from the one in the chat?
We are getting a couple questions in. I do want to just take a bit of a breather. I know it can be hard to think of the questions as you're learning about it. So we do have a question from Jan. California has Buy Clean Feed initiative. So how would they register as a low carbon cement alternative for state jobs? How would they like really get that specificity?
Great question. And that's actually one that I'll need to research a little bit more because I don't want to misspeak here. I don't know if that's just something that you would put on your capability statement when you're reaching out to folks, or if there's an actual designation that you could put in there. So I definitely want to research that. So Jan, if you don't mind, go ahead and email me that question and I can look into it. Amanda, do you have anything to add to that question?
I don't at this time. I'm actually not entirely familiar with the Buy Clean Feed initiative, so very surface level. I would hope that there's a way to specify it, but I wouldn't know how to.
Stumped us, Jan.
Yeah, but definitely, and I can also, as long as you are okay with it, Megan, I can include your contact information in the follow-up, which you will also get the recording of the session as well as the slide deck. That way that all of you, if you do have further questions or really need help with these very specific topics, you can reach out directly and really get that assistance.
I think Jan might have answered her own question a little bit. Because it's a federal initiative, I'm not sure how that translates to the state level, but I'm definitely going to research that more.
Yeah, absolutely. Because who knows, it could be a similar thing to DVE where it is applicable in both scenarios. And then we had Shara. You mentioned adding the 2 4-digit codes plus the 6 8-digit codes. But what if we only add the 2 4-digit codes? Like, is that still okay? Would it be functional? Maybe not as efficient? Like, where does that kind of sit?
Well, I'm going to go back a little bit. I think she's talking about the hierarchy here,
I think so.
where we have the 4 different levels. Without looking at your profile, I'm sure whatever you have in there is fine, right? But the point of this is to make sure that we're doing the most robust and correct profile that shows who you are and what you can provide to the state. So my advice is more is better as long as it's accurate. So if you only have levels 1 and 4, maybe you're fine. But if you're able to locate all 4 of the levels, I personally would do all of them, as long as they pertain to you.
Absolutely. As long as they're relevant, like, include them. Okay. And let me just clean up the Q&A a bit. And it looks like Flinters is looking for, I'm guessing your contact, which we will get to you, Flinterd. We'll actually get Megan's contact to everybody, both in the follow-up, and if you are comfortable, we can put it into the chat at the end of this event so you all can snag it and send her an email.
Really quickly, I'd briefly mentioned that you can always meet with us. And what I mean by that is we actually have a no cost, we love no cost, right?
Always.
Virtual consultation. So you can schedule 30, 45 minutes with someone like me who can look at your profile and go through it. We all travel a lot, so we're not always in the office. If you don't get me, it's okay. I'd love to have you. But there's 7 other really qualified folks that are here to help you as well.
Absolutely. And also, Apex Accelerators are here to help. We can sit down with you and go through your profile as well. So both of us Both of our services are really here to help and assist you. So connect with both of us, honestly. Get a counselor in your corner, and also make sure you have Megan's contact information in case it's being really tricky. Um, all right. And Nicole is wondering, does the UNSPSC description automatically update from the keywords?
Great question. No, we'll get into that in a couple slides. Thank you for
Okay,
asking that question.
perfect. Yeah. Um, oh, and Sarah is wondering if the WBE certification applies for state or regional contracts. And that's Women Business Enterprise, I believe.
It's a great question. So for the state of California, we only have those 3 certifications. So for the majority of projects, no, there are going to be some outliers, right? Maybe the public utilities, Caltrans with the DVBE, but typically speaking, we only accept the 3 certification: SB, SBPW, and DVBE.
Absolutely. And it's good that we're getting this question because that's a question that our Apex Accelerator Center gets a lot because there are truly so many different certifications out there that you really do want them to apply to everything. But sometimes they just don't. And it's making sure that you have the certifications that do apply to the contracts that you're looking for.
Amanda, I know that we have an hour webinar. I do see some questions coming through. So I was hoping to maybe table those for a little bit and address them. One question was asking in regards to how do we schedule. For me, we'll have a QR code provided and I'll give you a link. And I'm sure you have something similar. But if you don't mind, can I jump back into the webinar?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let me slide back to where we were once my computer wants to work.
And I will say, I believe we have this webinar scheduled for an hour and a half. So we do have plenty of time.
Okay, I was trying to check the calendar to make sure. So perfect.
Yeah, it's always a trick.
And then really quickly, then somebody did ask about their micro business designation, who doesn't have the capability for some of these contracts. So for folks who have a gross annual receipt, it used to be 5 million, now it's 6 million as of today, or less, they automatically get the micro business designation. They're still a small business, but they have that micro business. So someone like you, I definitely recommend either reaching out to Amanda or myself, and we can talk through how you can potentially work as a subcontractor, right? Where you can place a vendor ad that we're going to talk about in a little bit to potentially find a prime contractor to work with. So that way you can get experience, kind of get your feet with contracting, and then build your name a little bit. Do you have anything to add to that, Amanda?
Nothing to add. But I will note, I will get the Apex contact to get you connected with your local center, Shara. And Jan actually wrote in a bit more about a California clean bill. And it sounds like it's still in processing, still in implementation. So there may not be actual framework to implement that quite yet. But definitely keep in contact with your local Apex Accelerator as well as the DGS OSDS office so that when it is implemented fully and you can really get that specificity that you want, you can make sure that it's implemented on your profile. Oh, okay. I was incorrect and I will fully admit that. Thank you for correction, Jan. We'll go ahead and take this into more of a one-on-one setting through email, whether you reach out to Apex Accelerator or Megan.
Yeah, and honestly, Jan, thank you so much. It's one of those things that I really enjoy about these things where we're going to learn more, right? We learn together and we evolve, which I just think is wonderful. Before I get too far off, let's go ahead and get back into how to update our CaliProcure profiles.
Perfect.
So repeating for the 5th or 6th time now, you have 2 profiles within your CaliProcure: bidder registration and then your certification. We just went over how to update your UNSPSCs in your bidder profile. And now we're going to go over how to update your UNSPSCs in your keywords in your registration account. Somebody had asked about that earlier, and this is where we're going to dive into it. So no surprise to any of you, I'm sure. We're going to go to CaliProcure and log in and take us to our work center. Earlier, we went into, when I went back earlier, I went a little too far. So this time, When we go into our work center, instead of that left-hand side where we hit edit account, we're going to go to our right-hand side, which is manage our certification. So you're going to see you have two options to click here. Click whichever one you want. This screen does tend to stress people out a little bit because yes, you have to hit amend application to change the keywords and codes in your profile. It is okay. You have to do that in order to get your profile updated. So once you click amend application, it's going to take you to this screen. So in order to update the keywords and codes in your profile, you have to get to that others tab, which is highlighted in red right there. We don't like to make things easy for you, so you can't just click the others tab, right? You got to scroll to the bottom and hit save and continue 5 times until you get to that others tab. You'll see here. I'll highlight it for you. What I like to recommend is, since you're going through there anyway, check the information on the pages to make sure that it's accurate and current to you. Since you're already in there, you want to make sure everything is correct. But when you finally do get to the others tab, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to have the service areas again. So I definitely recommend, especially on the certification profile, which is public facing, that we make sure that we have the areas that we can actually service listed there. So that's going to be on your left-hand side. And then you'll see here on the right-hand side, this is where you can actually type in your keywords. You come up with them. Once you type them in there, you just click the plus button to get a new line. And for those of you paying attention out there, thank you for noticing that we only have light bulbs and lamps as plural. We should probably have it singular as well, right? Because I know you remember that slide from a little bit ago. Maybe painting, right? You really want to make sure that you're diversifying the words that you put in there. Again, you're the expert for your industry, so I'll let you do that. But singular as well as plural is what I'll remind you of. So that was the keyword section. Again, you are responsible for putting them in there. You can update and change them at any time within your certification profile by hitting that manage certification button and then amend application to get you to this screen. So now we're going to touch on how to update the UNSPSCs in your certification profile. Okay, you're going to click add UNSPSC classification in order to get to this screen. For this webinar, obviously we're using paper as an example. So this time under description, which again is just a keyword that you should already have in your profile, we typed in paper, and then we hit the lookup button, which has that red arrow underneath it. You'll see here in this example, we selected 2 codes as well. So we checked them, and then we are going to save by scrolling down to the bottom and selecting save, which is highlighted in red here. And then that way they'll get added to our profile. They're now going to be displayed here. Super simple. If you have codes that you no longer want, go ahead and hit that X button and delete them. You can come back and update this as often as you need in order to keep your profile current and accurate. Maybe when we go over skippers in a little bit, you decide to go look at your competitor's profile, you see their codes, totally fine to come back in and update them there. So something else that I want to touch on, since we are going through our different profiles, is our supplier diversity information. So in 2022, the Department of General Services, where I work, began collecting voluntary diversity data information from certified businesses, both currently registered businesses as well as new businesses within their CaliProcure profile. So collecting voluntary diversity data is part of California's commitment to support diversity, equity, and inclusion in state procurement. So we do recommend that all businesses, when they are registering with the state, complete this diversity data. The diversity data will enable the evaluation of the effectiveness of our state's existing outreach programs and provide a better understanding of where targeted outreach efforts should be established, right? We want people like me to come into our diverse state and make sure that we're really helping out the folks that need it the most. And then the goal is to ensure California's supplier base is reflective of our diverse state. So this information is voluntary. You can change or remove the data at any time directly within your profile in CaliProcure. We always want to note this information does not grant a contracting preference and does not affect your contracting efforts or opportunities. And this information is publicly displayed on your certification profile if you get certified. The hyperlink here that we're going to provide in the slides, that'll take you directly to the Supplier Diversity webpage where you can get some more information on it there. If you do want to update your information, you would simply go back to your work center and then click the Manage Diversity Information on the left-hand side under your My Account option. And then it's going to pull you to this page. So again, you know yourself better than I do. I'll leave this to you to fill out. Just wanted to give you a screenshot of what it looks like. So now that we've gone over UNSPSC's keywords, what our 2 profiles within CaliProcure are, as well as our supplier diversity information, I think it's time that we get into how to actually find contracts to bid on if we're not already familiar with it. So contract opportunities are called solicitations, and they are found on the California State Contracts Registrar, that's CSCR, which, to no surprise to any of you, can be found on CaliProcure. So these contract opportunities are public and competitively bid. You also have opportunities to post advertisements in the CSCR, which we'll talk about in a second. And when I say post advertisements, it's sub seeking a prime, prime seeking a sub. To get there, make sure you're logged into your account. From here in your work center, you simply click Start Search. You'll see here that you can search by a variety of ways. You can search by event name, which, pro tip, they're just keywords, right? They're descriptions. Event ID is the actual number associated with the solicitation. You can search by department. For those of you interested in working with Caltrans potentially, I believe the department name or number is 2660, or you can hit the hamburger button there, type in transportation, and find them pretty easily. What I want to focus on though, and what I really like, is using the advanced search criteria, which is highlighted in red here. Once you expand that, you can see that there's more opportunities for you to search. You'll see the categories containing UNSPSCs, service areas, as well as contractor license type. So you can use the codes in your profile to easily identify potential solicitations. And then you can also narrow down your search based on areas you're actually able to perform work in. So now just pretend that we searched for a keyword, let's say a keyword, and it brings you to this list of results. So this is a list of search results, prior ones, within the CSCR. And then when you do a current and active search, the results will be for solicitations that are currently being advertised and ready for you to place a bid on. So just a quick breakdown of what we're looking at. The event ID is just the number assigned to the solicitation. Remember on the last screen where we can look it up by event ID? That's what this is here. So the event name provides a brief description of the solicitation. The department name you're going to see is also listed here. And then something I really want you to focus on is the end date. So that top one, it needs to be submitted before 11:30 a.m. In the event that you get around to it at 11:40, it's not going to be considered. Amanda and I have talked a lot about how there's no cost resources available to you. It doesn't cost you any money to get registered with the state of California. It just costs your time, right? And time is money, especially for our small businesses. We don't have a lot of time available. I do not want you to waste your time putting together a bid solicitation that you cannot actually fulfill because you don't get it in on time. Okay. So I'll get off my soapbox and let's go ahead and take a look at an actual solicitation. In this case, we click event name, and then here's an example of something that would be here. So this is actually a construction example, it looks like. So the event details page is what we're looking at, and then it holds a lot of information about the event, right? Something that we always want to point out at the beginning is that there's contact information listed on this solicitation. That contact information is if you have a question regarding this solicitation. So maybe it's something you're interested in bidding on, but you want to substitute a product or you have a question. Definitely reach out to these folks and reach out to them early so that way you can get a response in enough time to finish your bid before that end date, right? These are not the folks you market yourself to. Those folks we'll talk about in a second. These contract administrators are just in regards to the contract, okay? Another thing I want to point out is the view event package is the top blue button. These aren't the best slides. I know it's a little hard for you to see, but when we send them out to you, you'll be able to see that top blue button is view event package. That is where everything regarding the solicitation will be housed, right? So if you have any questions regarding the solicitation, you look there first. If they're not answered, that's when you reach out to the contract administrator. Make sure that you're going in there and reading every single document in its entirety, right? You want to make sure you understand what you're potentially getting yourself into before you bid on and potentially win a contract. I promised earlier that we would talk about how to place a vendor ad. When you are logged into your CaliProcure profile and you access this through your work center, you're going to have the option to post vendor ad. That is why we always tell you to log in before you go in here and look at a solicitation. So if you wanted to post a vendor ad, maybe you're that subcontractor seeking a prime contractor, you simply click the post vendor ad, which is a blue button in the middle, and it'll give you this screen. Pretty straightforward, right? You're going to put your contact details in there. Hopefully you know your name and your email and your phone number, right? And then under that, you're going to have the advertisement detail. You're going to put the title of what you're looking for. We advise you put it straight to the point. I personally would put my certification number there. If you are hoping that a subcontractor is enticed to you because of your small business certification, right? One of the perks is that a prime contractor gets your incentive to work with you. I would post it there as well. And then in the advertisement box in that description, make sure you're definitely putting your small business certification to start with, so that way you can be easily identified. And then I believe you only have 1,000 characters to describe what you're looking for. So we definitely recommend that you're succinct and to the point and very clear about what you're looking at. You also have the opportunity to put the response deadline in there. And then also, obviously, you could click whether you're a prime seeking a sub or a sub seeking a prime. Right? Well, Amanda, I think it is time for some questions. Did we have any out there?
We do have a couple. We're still getting questions about contact information. So I would like to remind everybody, you will absolutely be getting contact information for both APEX Accelerator as well as our DGS presenter, Megan, at the end of this presentation. So I appreciate your patience. You will be receiving it, and I just don't want to send it to you guys like 15 times. So I appreciate your patience as we wait for that contact information. And now we'll get into a couple of the questions. I would also like to say, Sarah, I'm certified as of last week. Congratulations on being certified. That is absolutely fantastic. Perfect webinar for right after you get your certification. Lisa Duffy was wondering if you could just really briefly review what the two profiles are, the bidder and the certification profile.
Definitely. So I use my hands on this one. I hope you don't mind. No matter who you are, if you want to sell to the state of California, you register on CaliProcure. That generates your bidder profile. That is the one that does the system-generated notifications based on your UNSPSC. Anybody selling to the state has a bidder profile. We also call it registration. But all of you are special and either have or you're going to go in and you're going to become certified as a small business or DVBE. Because you have that additional designation, you also have a certification profile. The certification profile is public facing. State buyers can go in there and try to find you to potentially work with. Somebody like me can go into CaliProcure, find your small business certification and tell you, wow, you have great keywords and codes, or wow, those two are great. You probably want about 100, right? So it's public facing and people can go in there and look at it. That's kind of my brief description of the two different profiles. Do you have anything to add to that, Amanda?
Nothing in particular. It very much seems, I kind of think of it as like your bidder profile is the draft profile. It is the one that you can put your aspirations on. It is the one that you can really kind of build out your dreams or your mood board or whatever you would like to call that kind of active planning for the future. And then your certification profile is like, okay, I am ready to do the work. I am ready to be on a job. This is what I can do. All right, and we do have a couple more questions. We're doing plenty good on time. Shara's wondering if you're only able to post sub ads on each event post.
It's my understanding that you're going to go in on each individual solicitation to add them. We'll talk a little bit about advocates in a second. That's who you market yourself to. They're not necessarily a prime contractor, but you can note that you're willing to work as a sub in those correspondence. And then you can always reach out directly to prime contractors who have won a previous solicitation or a contract in an area that you work on. We're going to touch on the state procurement, the state contract and procurement registration system, skippers, on our upcoming slides. And that's how you can identify who has won contracts in the past. So that's kind of my quick answer. Amanda, did you have anything to add to that?
Absolutely. I think that's a great answer. And I think the only thing I would add is when subcontracting, it really is the connection that makes that subcontracting opportunity possible. So I think reaching out to the primes that you're able to find have performed work with DGS before and reaching out to them even beyond like, oh, you have this project coming up that I want to work on, but reaching out to them to really build that connection, build that relationship that can form a relationship that results in not only the contract you're interested in, but a very successful prime to sub relationship down the line.
Amanda, thank you so much for that input. And sorry to move the slides on you, but you actually reminded me of something I forgot to say. So
Yeah,
thank you. On this event details page that we were looking at earlier, I failed to mention that underneath the contact information, there's a pre-bid conference. Sometimes they have them, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're mandatory, sometimes they're not. My recommendation is that whenever there is a pre-bid conference, whether or not it's required for a subcontractor, that you attend that conference. Because exactly what Amanda is talking about, you have the opportunity to put yourself in front of the primes, let them know that you're interested and engaged in what you can do. Caltrans actually mentioned that they had a pre-bid conference that was not mandatory for subcontractors. They vary. And only one subcontractor came, and that person won the business because they were there and the prime contractors got to meet them. So, Amanda, thank you very much for that input.
absolutely. And that does lead into a really good question that Evelyn had. And this will be the last question for this little Q&A section. She's wondering what is the decision-making criteria as to whether they respond to the subcontractors?
Amanda, I'm curious what your answer is going to be to this one. For
Yeah,
me, it's whether or not you can do the job on your own, right? If you are capable of bidding on a project and seeing it through, then we can do a prime contractor. But some folks don't know when they're newer to state contracting how the process really works. For instance, did you know that the state typically pays on the completion of the project within 45 days? So are you able to fund the entire project and then wait 45 days for payment? If the answer is no, then I don't think you're ready to subcontract, or sorry, to prime contract quite
yeah.
yet. So that's my initial response, but Amanda, I'm curious what your answer to that one is.
I think that's a fantastic kind of starting point is like, because funding very much is a factor in government contracting. It can be one of the most limiting factors because, like you said, a lot of agencies, not just with the state, but with the federal government, would only pay after the contract is fully executed and delivered. And the 45 days is if all of the paperwork is submitted and signed and all filled out correctly, which a lot of businesses can run into a bit of hiccups and hurdles there as well. I also think like as a program, we always like to tell, especially small businesses, to start local and start as subcontractors, because that's essentially, while it's not as formal as any of the mentor protege programs that are available at the federal level, it is very much a mentorship kind of thing, especially if you get a really good relationship with your prime and they really want to continue working with you as a subcontractor. You should be able to call them up and be like, hey, I'm having a lot of trouble with this paperwork. Like, what am I doing wrong? And they can be there not only as your prime, kind of guiding and doing the project with you, but also as a support service to help you really get your feet under you for government contracting.
Thank you for that input.
Mhm. And we are good to go for the rest of the presentation.
Okay, let's go ahead and get into the fun stuff. The ability to research past purchases, right? You've heard me talk about this a couple times, specifically the state contract and procurement registration system, which we lovingly call skippers. A little bit more about skippers. My colleague, Josh, actually, he loves skippers. He calls it the holy grail of market research. Okay, so skippers, simply put, is a database of past state purchases. It includes state and non-state dollars. It's public facing, meaning you can find it, right? Anybody can research and log into skippers. It is found on CaliProcure. And then you can actually use it to find patterns in what departments or organizations are buying. And then it helps you determine what services they require, right? And if it might be a good fit for you to potentially contract with. And then lastly, we want to note that you can use it to conduct market research, and then also to find competitors as well, like we've talked about. So no surprise here, CaliProcure homepage to get to skippers, the bottom left-hand tile, which is find public procurement information, which is highlighted in red. Oh, look at all these no-cost resources on this page. Definitely take a second to look through them. What I like about our no-cost resources is oftentimes they're a YouTube video or something that you can go in and look at your own pace, right? As Amanda pointed out, we have an hour and a half today. We can only talk about so many things. You don't have the ability to pause me, go back and rewatch. You do later, right? But that's why I really enjoy these no-cost resources available to you. But you'll see here that you can research past purchases by clicking the second one down. So this is actually a result of something that we've already searched in Skippers. I feel like we might have planted that construction question earlier, because as you'll see here, we actually searched construction for our Skippers result. So we did it under the description box, which again is just a keyword. And then below are all the results from when we searched for construction. You'll see that at this time, there was 23,977 results. This looks like it's a year or two old, so I'm sure there's more. A brief breakdown of skippers. So again, we searched off of description. You also have the ability to touch on acquisition type or method, which we can schedule an appointment with Amanda to go over, or you can attend one of our level 3 webinars. We do recommend that you narrow down the search parameters. So we recommend going about a year or two back. So that way it's not loading everything. I'm sure it took forever to load those 24,000 results for this construction. And then you can add more time. And then like we talked about earlier, when you hit the advanced search criteria, you have the ability to search by UNSPSC as well. So there's different ways to use skippers. But again, for this example, we typed in construction into the description box, and these are the results. You'll see here that the first column is for the department name. That's really important to know who's purchased the product, right? So you know who to reach out to, right? The purchase document, which is hyperlinked, is the next column. If you click on that, it'll show you everything that was in that purchase order. And then the first item title, just like it sounds, it is the first item on the list there. You're going to see the start and end date. You're going to see the grand total. What's cut off, though, that's what's the most important for you all. You're going to see who won the bid. You're going to see what type of business they were. Were they a prime contractor that you can reach out to down the road? Were they a subcontractor that's an SB or DVBE that you could potentially steal their codes and keywords from in CaliProcure? So that information is really important, and they recommend that you take the time and just to sit down and play around with skippers. Okay, you can do different keywords, different UNSPSCs to really get an idea of what the departments are buying that you could potentially provide. For our folks who like to get their information in Excel spreadsheets, I'm not one of those people, but more power to you. You actually have the ability to download this information into an Excel document, so that way you can search it and put all your sorting magic onto it. Hopefully that made sense. Did we have any questions on skippers, Amanda?
As of right now, we do not, but we do have a question that is in chat. Sarah's wondering if there are any funding costs that are paid up front for contracts.
Not sure if I understand the question. Amanda, do you mind taking a swing at that?
Yeah, so I think she's asking, like, is it possible if you win a contract to get like a portion of the contract money to begin the program or to begin the project? And I don't believe that's common, if at all possible, in contract. From my experience and what I've seen, typically contracts are given out and like given to the company, the work is performed, and I think at some point in some contracts you could invoice monthly or invoice every 3 months and get paid in chunks. But
Amanda, I'm gonna cut you off. That's exactly what I was thinking too. So spot on. To my knowledge, I've never seen anything pre-funded. Certain projects, specifically the larger public works projects, they typically have exactly what you're talking about because the scope of work on those projects is so large. They'll have like check-in dates where you can invoice and get paid for work up into that point, but that's the only time I've seen that.
yeah, and so that's one of the biggest hurdles that a lot of our clients really face, is having enough working capital to keep the business afloat and the project going until they can get to that payday. And we do have a question. Lisa's unsure if we can answer this, but we will try our best, of course. Where can you find your economically disadvantaged WOSB certification number? It wasn't on your approval letter. And that is more on the federal space, so I do have a little bit of insight into that. So I believe with your WOSB, you submitted it onto the Certify application through the SBA. So I believe you should be able to get back into that application account and you'll be able to find that certification number. But I will say, if that is incorrect, because I'm not as familiar with this certification, please do reach out to your local APEX Accelerator and become a client. Of course, it's no cost. I'm always here to plug the services, but they can absolutely help you with finding this certification number and making sure your certification stays updated as well.
Thank you, Amanda. And then I think there's no other outstanding questions, so we're going to go ahead and jump into our advocates, if that's okay. Perfect. So skippers, right? You all are going to take the time to go in there, play around and figure out how to use skippers. And then hopefully, once we do that, we're going to determine what departments are buying the products or services that you provide, right? That first column, which was department name. So remember when we were talking about event details and that page where I said, do not contact the contract administrator in regards to marketing yourself to. We're going to talk about those folks later. These are the folks. They are state advocates. They are people like me who work for the state of California. They're typically in a manager or analyst role. And then they are within departments and agencies that procure at least $100,000 per year. And their job is to help you. We'll go over that on the next slide. So the SB DVBE advocate is here to help SBs and DVBEs pursue contract opportunities with the state they work for. I don't think I have mentioned this, but the state of California has contracting goals that are mandated by state law that 25% of all procurement needs to come from small businesses and 3% from disabled veteran business enterprise services. That goal law is required for the state as a whole, as well as each individual department. So that's where the advocates come into play for their department, is that they need to make sure that they're reaching that 25 and 3% respectively procurement goals. And they also need to find new small businesses and DVBEs to contract with. They can't just go to the same ones every time. So they are your new best friends. We talked about prompt payment, and Amanda, thank you for defining that a little bit more earlier. It's an undisputed submitted invoice, and there's some other criteria there. In the event that you are not paid within 45 days after meeting the criteria, you are eligible to the Prompt Payment Act, which has higher penalties, higher interest rate penalties, and the state advocates for the departments actually help with that. So we'll go a little bit more into what to talk about when you reach out to an advocate. So backtracking a little bit, we have a robust profile, right? Our certification profile clearly shows who we are and what we can potentially sell to the state, whether it's a product or a service. Okay. We've gone into skippers. We've identified what departments are buying that product and service, and now it's time to market ourselves to them. That is the advocate. So when you reach out to them, you want to make sure that you're including some basic information, right? Your company name, your certification ID number, right? They are the SB DVBE advocate, so make sure they know you're an SB or DVBE. Make it easy for them. You want to briefly explain what you do, and hopefully you are all familiar with our blue capability statement right here at the bottom, because that is very important. If you are not familiar with a capability statement, schedule an appointment with Amanda or your local APEX Accelerator today, because as I mentioned, they are the true experts. We're going to give you one example of a capability statement. Essentially what it is a resume for your business. And if you can't tell, I'm really passionate about capability statements, because even though I'm not a state buyer, sometimes I'll do events where I sit down at like a meet a buyer event, and then I help small businesses and DVBs like yours go over state contracting questions, right? And I had this event in Los Angeles about 5 months ago where I had 5 small businesses come to me in a row, and they were so excited to meet with the state of California. They're just like, oh, you're why I came, right? And they put down their capability statement. And I look at it. And again, I'm not a state buyer. I'm just somebody trying to help. Nowhere on there is there a small business certification number. Nowhere on there is a UNSPSC. Nowhere on there is a keyword. Nowhere on there is anything to do with the state of California. I briefly mentioned in the beginning that you want to speak the right language to the people that you're talking to, right? In that case, it was a beautiful, all 5 of them actually were really beautiful capability statements, but they meant nothing to me because they didn't speak my language. So I'll ask Amanda this at the Q&A session, but I've heard that it's actually recommended that you have multiple versions of your capability statement, right? So if you have one template, you can work off it. There's over 250 state departments. I would recommend that you have maybe just a state of California capability statement. Then you're going to want one for the federal side with the NICS codes and then proof of performance within there. And then also we talked about subcontracting opportunities, right? So maybe you want for a prime. Again, I'm not the expert. That's Amanda, and that's your other local APEX accelerators. But you definitely want to make sure that when you're reaching out to the advocates, that you have a capability statement, and that capability statement is speaking the language of the state advocates. So on that note, this simple example here just has the small business certification number, the UNSPSC's contact information, services offered, a little bit of a background, and then why choose them. So again, Amanda will go into more detail, but that's the basics there. And then when you are reaching out to the advocates, I like to say that it's okay to just be direct, right? Hey, this is what I can do. This is what you've used in the past. This is how I can help you moving forward to satisfy that 25% procurement goal and get a new small business in the mix. So on that note, you can ask them, Do you have any current or upcoming contracting opportunities, right? Can you include me in any relevant solicitations? And then hopefully you've answered this question a little bit with Skipper, so you already know it. But do you have a list of commonly purchased goods and services? And then again, I like to say, be direct with them, right? You want to create that symbiotic relationship. You have contracting goals that you need to meet, and I need to make money with my small business. How do we make these goals together? We do recommend that you are politely persistent with them. It's going to look different for you and versus for me. I'm curious what Amanda's take is on that. But I would check in every, 6 to 8 weeks, or if a contract comes up that you might be interested in, that's when I would be reaching out to the advocates. So now we know who they are, what to send them. How do we find them? Oh, look, CaliProcure again. This time, right-hand corner on the bottom, find training and resources. Look, all these no-cost resources available to you. Once you go through all of those, you're going to click on Contact a Small Business in DVBE Advocate. It'll take you to their webpage. Feel free to bookmark this for future use. The hyperlink that is highlighted in red here, that will take you to the advocate directory. It is currently an Excel spreadsheet. It's going to change down the road. I don't know when, don't ask me, but as Amanda said, information always changes. So stay tuned and stay updated. But this directory in the form of an Excel spreadsheet, that gets updated every Friday. So we do recommend that you check back to make sure that you're reaching out to the correct folks within the organization. And then you'll see here, it's pretty straightforward. Department name, that's important, right? And then you'll see that we actually have a construction column for folks who are interested in construction, and then they're marked with X for your convenience there. The folks highlighted in yellow, that indicates departments who have an SB, a DVBE first policy. So if you go to Skippers and you find that they're buying your product services, maybe I start with those ones in yellow, right? And then the SB first policy is a formal policy that stipulates the staff approach every solicitation through the lens of a small business and then work to incorporate small businesses from the very beginning of the procurement process. Of course, we've cut off probably the most important information for you, which is the contact information. So when you go into the advocate directory yourself and you scroll over, you're going to see phone numbers and emails. I recommend that you put things in writing and you shoot them an email, right? Because we talked about your capability statement and all that. You're welcome to call them. I'm curious what Amanda's take is on that. But I would put it in an email so that way you have it in writing and that way you're able to provide all of your information. So hopefully that made sense. Amanda, I know I said I was going to come back to you for a few questions. Do you remember what they were?
I do.
Okay, good.
So one was on capability statements. And first and foremost, I want to know, I put the advocate directory in the chat, so you guys can go ahead and bookmark that link right now. And I will also get the link to Norcal APEX's capability statements resources. We actually just recently updated a webinar. So on our website, we have both I believe it's an hour-long webinar going over how to build out your capability statement, including the file management that you suggested. I love the idea of having multiple capability statements. And to be honest, I love the state, the subcontracting. If you're looking to get into federal, I would do a capability statement for federal government. And then I would even go as far as when you're looking to submit a capability statement, kind of tailoring it like you would a resume, right? When you're applying for a job, you would tailor your resume to really fit the company and really shine the light on your experiences that make you a good fit for that company. So say you're trying to do business with the BART agency in the Bay Area or possibly Caltrans. You would want to take your state capability statement, pull it out, maybe save it as a separate file, and really tailor that capability statement to BART. And then through that, and as you kind of go after these solicitations, you'll build out a pretty good database of capability statements for all of the agencies that you regularly want to work with. So I'll go ahead and I'll drop the information in there. Again, it's a webinar as well as a fillable kind of editable template that you can use to really jumpstart your capability statement. And so that was one of the questions. I
Sorry.
believe the other one was recent. I believe it was
Politely persistent. How often would you recommend that they're reaching out to the state advocate?
yeah, absolutely. I think that the 6 to 8 week mark is really good. And I think especially if you're looking at a contract that is coming up, being a little bit more persistent would be acceptable, especially if there's a timeline or a time crunch on it. But personally, I am well aware that our office is absolutely chaotic and hectic and always changing. I'm sure it's the same for many, many government agencies. So I would say no more than a weekly kind of check-in. And if it is that weekly check-in, like make sure it's about something specific. It's not really like, oh, hey, I filled out my CaliProcure. Can you take a look at it? Like that would be great to set up a meeting for, but they don't need to be checking on your profile every week, you know? So it really is, it's a fine line between you want to stay at top of mind so that they're aware of you, but you don't want to pester them.
Good point.
Fantastic. And we do have a couple questions. I will type the answers up too so that we can go ahead and get on to the
Perfect.
presentation.
Thank you so much for that. So our next point that we're going to go over once my computer starts to work is reciprocity partners. So a reciprocity partner is a city, county, agency, or a special district that honors the state of California's small business and or DVBE certification as acceptance into their own individual business enterprise programs. So what that means is that instead of having to go out and get yet another certification, our reciprocity partners, who are hyperlinked at the bottom with our DGS webpage, will accept our certification instead of their own. That is why we always recommend, if you're new to contracting, that you get our certification first, so that way it can prevent you from having to go through certification processes with other folks. Hopefully that's pretty straightforward. If you all have any questions on our reciprocity partners, where to find them, why they're important, definitely let us know. But that webpage is going to answer most of your questions there. So something that we want to touch on is actually something that I am actually really proud of is our SB and DVBE emergency registry. So the emergency registry was actually created to help small businesses and DVBEs like yours participate in emergency contracting opportunities, right? It was designed specifically to aid state departments in connecting with certified businesses who can quickly offer specialized emergency goods and services. So we created this because unfortunately, with state emergency contracting being so quick, we found that small businesses and DVBEs weren't being as considered as much as they could. So that's why we created this registry. And so we're all familiar with emergencies, right? The obvious ones being COVID, the fires that we experienced, especially here in California. But there's other emergencies too that might not often get thought of. So water pipe bursting in a state hospital, that requires quick and emergency, I can't think of the word, response. So we created that emergency registry so that way a state buyer can find you quickly. So I do encourage everyone to take a look at it if it makes sense to them. And a little bit more of a breakdown on the SB DVB Emergency Registry. It's a dedicated portal for California certified small businesses. And then unlike CaliProcure, this portal will only include businesses that provide goods and services from predetermined emergency categories. We'll touch on them on the next slide. You have to select at least one. If there isn't a category that fits you, you can type in your own under miscellaneous. And then why it's important is that State Department buyers can just go to this pre-vetted list of certified SBs and DVBEs in the state of emergency. So because it does require a quick response, I got that word quicker this time, we want to make sure that only businesses who are able to actually provide that quick response are signing up. So how we say that is businesses that are currently ready and able to support the state during an emergency. Because as we just said, emergency contracting requires fast around-the-clock turnaround times, and a business should not register unless they are fully capable of immediately providing the goods and services they listed. So as promised, here are the list of predetermined categories. You must select at least one, and you do have the option of typing in your own if it's not on there. Because the emergency registry is just for certified businesses, when you sign up, you're going to need your certification number, okay? You're going to need to list the categories you wish to work in. You have to do at least one, a description of the products and or services you provide, the address of your business, and then the contact information for both primary and emergency hours. So I don't know about you, my emergencies don't typically happen between 9 and 5. So we want to make sure that we're able to contact you 24/7. So now that we know a little bit about the emergency registry, what you need to sign up, let's go over where to sign up. We are back on the CaliProcure homepage. This time we are clicking the top left tile, which is sell to the state, highlighted in red here. This is the one time we're going to send you off of CaliProcure. I know I'm talking a little fast now, but as I mentioned, this is the one thing separate from CaliProcure. So this link here is going to take you to a DGS webpage. It's similar to the one that we went over for the advocacy group. However, it's just for emergency contracting. If you have questions regarding emergency contracting, their webpage actually has an email box there that you can reach out to them directly. If emergency contracting makes sense for you, we definitely recommend that you look into it and get signed up. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, we always like to end all of our webinars with commercially useful function. So we don't put this here to scare you. I'm not going to talk about jail time or fines if you violate CUP, because it doesn't need to be that serious. But we definitely want to make sure that you know that you do need to provide a commercially useful function on a contract that you're potentially winning with your SB and or DVBE certification. And so CUF does apply to all SBs and DVBEs bidding and participating in the contract. So that's the folks listed at the beginning, any substitution that might have during, and it's for the entire contract term, right? So when you're bidding for a solicitation, and then when you finish that contract after winning it, the entire time, you need to make sure that you are providing a commercially useful function. I like to say that these slides are just here as a reminder that you need to perform the agreed upon contract. This slide is what you're doing when you're performing CUF. My next slide are examples of when you're not performing CUF. So again, I'm not here to scare you, but I'm just here to say that as long as you are forthright and honest, then you're fine, right? If you're doing what you said you would do. CUF is here to protect the integrity of our small business program. So the first bullet point on the next slide, well, I'll just go there now, actually. We want to make sure that you're not being used as a pass-through, right? And what that means is that you're an extra participant in a transaction, contract, or project through which funds are passed in order to obtain the appearance of SB or DVB participation, right? We want to make sure that a prime contractor isn't using you just to get your benefits and they're using you on paper, right? We want to make sure that you're actually doing the work and that you're benefiting from it and then can get contracts from it later. So again, the first line, what you do to stay in adherence with CUF, this is what you're doing when you are violating CUF. Just like with the contract administrator slide, if you have questions, ask them and ask them early because we want to make sure that you understand what's going on. Hopefully that made sense. If not, feel free to reach out and I have some wonderful resources available to you. Speaking of resources, there are a lot of no cost resources available to you, like today, right? Make sure that you're signing up with Norcal APEX if that's your area. If not, we will direct you to the website and you can search based off of your zip code and find your local APEX. They are wonderful. I actually stole the capability statement idea from my girl up here in Sacramento, so I can't take credit for it. But even when Amanda was talking at the beginning, the custom bid matching program, I had to write that down. That's so cool, right? I learn so much from you folks every time. So definitely reach out to them. They are no cost resource because they're partially funded by the federal government. In addition to APEX Accelerators, we also have our small business development centers. They're also wonderful. They're also who I send you to get your capability statements worked up with. And then also SCORE. And they're great with business mentorship. And then as you can see here, we recommend them for newer businesses. I'm not going to review what we went over today because you were here for it. So hopefully you remember. If not, you have the slides in the recording. And then follow us on LinkedIn. So Every Wednesday, we post our upcoming events. So definitely check that out. Apex, I'm sure, was on there yesterday. So we definitely want to keep that. I'm going to email you a link to our consultation. Don't scan that QR code because it's being updated right now, and I don't want to give you bad information. But the link will give you 4 different categories to pick from. Just pick the one that makes the most sense, schedule a time. If you get me, great. If not, there's 7 other people who are so ready and wanting to help you with your state contracting questions and journey. So we promised my contact information. Here it is. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. And thank you again so much for being here today.
Absolutely. And thank you, Megan, for such a fantastic presentation. It is a lot of information to get through and a ton of amazing questions from our audience. Really glad that we could get to all of those. So thank you so much for being here today and presenting with us. And with that, I believe we can go ahead and wrap it up. We will leave Megan's contact information on the slides, and I believe I have a link to your scheduling one. It's the Outlook.office365 link.
Yes, and hopefully it says Department of General Services spelled out and not abbreviated.
It does.
Right, yeah, that's our own.
Fantastic. So I will go ahead and drop that into chat. And with that, thank you all so much for joining us today. And we did go a bit over time, so we appreciate the extra couple minutes you took out of your day to be here with us. And for the folks who may not still be here, maybe they had another meeting, the best part about these webinars is they are recorded all the way till the end, whether we go short or go long. So you will always be able to get the information from these events, including the slide deck, and those will be in your inbox within a week of this event. And one little last reminder, we do absolutely value your feedback on these events. So when you exit this webinar, you'll be redirected to our feedback survey, and I would really appreciate you taking a couple minutes out of your day to fill that out. We love to know how we're doing with these events because we truly do put these on to help you. And if we could be helping you a little bit better, whether that's presentation-wise or topic-wise, or maybe we're already gold star and doing great, we would always love to hear that as well. So if you have a chance, we would love your feedback on this event. And with that, thank you all so much for being here this morning. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day.